Fucking hell. What a start. What a start, Brent. What a start.
Look, better late than never, Bogan.
Oh, mate, the OBS is fucking out. I don't know what happened there. You weren't actually supposed to be on top of the intro there.
I think the people like it.
Yeah, well, the OBS gods decided to fuck off all of the fucking bits and bobs that you need for, and I don't know what. Give you a love heart. Will that fuck off? Yep.
Look what happens when Joshy doesn't show up. Everything falls apart. Look, guys, back again for another week. Obviously, no Joshy this week. He was late scratching, so it'll be on game day this week, mate. Round 11 review, round 12 preview. Not too long to go. Only 8 weeks till the competition ends, which means we've probably got 5 or 6 rounds until head-to-head finals will start. Pretty ordinary week for myself. 11:47. I got some nice updates there at some point. Had Maddo like a lot of people did. I had Ramian as well, so he had a pie disallowed and then did his hemi, so went off shortly after that. So that stung a bit. Nothing special with the captaincy and Teddy. A few interesting results over the weekend, but look, mate, as I said, always onwards and upwards. Fallen back out of the top 10,000, so I think McCall this year might be top 5,000 to be awesome. Well, yourself, Bogan, how'd you go, mate?
Just a little over 1,200. So, yeah, like everyone, had Maddo, but yeah, fucking seems like the Tigers had it in for him pretty early on. So, yeah, that didn't work out well. Fucking Teddy didn't score well again this week, but Zach Lomax again up there with the 120 odd. So. Yeah.
Joshy 11:29, mate. He was worse than both of us. So Joshy's must be doing pretty ordinary. We're going pretty ordinary. So
I'm right on his fucking heels. Right on his heels. 9 points behind.
So hopefully we can put last week behind us, mate. Boys and girls, probably mainly the boys out there joining us. Thanks for tuning in once again. As always, chat's absolutely on fire for another week. So you'll have to get used to my indulgent tones and Bogans for the rest of the evening. Probably be a quicker show than usual without Joshy rambling on as he does. But mate, we jumped into the first game of the round.
Last time I fucking said that, the show ended up going for half an hour fucking longer.
So we won't have that, mate. We've got crying babies in the background here, probably.
He did say he might pop in, but with the technical difficulties again, it seems to be something new every fucking week.
I'll tell you what. What else is he doing on a Tuesday night? He knows what Tuesday nights are for.
Oh, mate,
boys knows what Tuesday nights are for.
I reckon his missus heard his comments about Jaiara's missus last week.
True.
And yeah, he's doing the fucking Lenny from The Simpsons. Shave up, not down.
Maybe. Trim those sideburns, Jaira. Did you see that? Did you see Harrow's haircut on the weekend, Bogan?
No.
That was a shocker. It's gotten worse. It's a big monstrosity of a thing. You should see it. Anyway, jumping into the footy, mate. We started off the round with Parramatta taking on the Tigers at Bankwest on the Thursday night. So a bit of back and forward. And this one, Tigers looked good early. They jumped away to an early lead and looked like they had a bit of the going early, mate. Looked like they might be, about to cause a bit of an upset for the evening. But in the end, it was the Parramatta Eels that got the job done pretty comfortably at the end. There was a late try to Tommy Talau to make it look a little bit flattering, mate. Supercoach-wise, Regan Campbell-Gillard was absolutely massive, played some big minutes for Para. He played almost 80 minutes, old Campbell-Gillard, and scored a pie in there with a nice little front rowers try, mate, just in the first half there. So he pumped out a big 65 points in base in just under 70 minutes. So that was pretty impressive from the big fella. He's probably coming into contention now for that front row position as well, even though you probably missed the boat on him now. He's gone up 50 grand last week, and he's also 150 grand up for the year, but only in 8% of teams, so still somewhat poddish. But yeah, looking really good. Sean Lane was massive for him. Gutho again producing the goods. Sivo, he scored a double, only 76 points. But yeah, pretty solid across the board. Paulo Brown, Moses returned for a try, only 57 points. He's looking pretty cheap this week. Tiger sides of things, Grant was big once again. Just keeps on producing. Old Harry Grant, Noah Faluma as well. He crossed the line for a try, banged out a 70 there. Leilua banged out another good score with it. Well, not really a good score with a try, to be fair, but keeps on pumping them out. So,
yeah, you suspect with 12 coming back, his minutes will go down this week.
Probably not Leilua, but I reckon Eisenhuth. Big 12 will play in the middle there, whereas Leilua will still be playing 80 out on that edge. That's his left edge. So I don't expect he'd drop any minutes, but I think you'll see Eisenhuth and possibly guys like Aloi and that possibly start to have their minutes reduced. If not, some of these guys off the bench.
Yeah, I think Russell Pack has probably made his cameo for the year as well.
So. What I did like in this game was the matchup between, was it Blore, the bloke on debut, and Nathan Brown. So Brown ended up getting a penalty at one point for, I think it was a crusher, and he's jumped up real quick and they've had some words, and Brown's gone straight back into him, and Blore didn't take a step back and absolutely give it to him twice after that. So that was good to see. But bit of a sickening KO there for Cheekham as well. He was on the ground, but he having seizures or convulsing there. It was pretty gruesome to see. All the best for him. Hopefully he's all right, mate. But Para just getting the job done, mate, as the good teams do, getting the win when they need it. Anything else on that one you want to add?
No, not really, mate. I wasn't expecting to be talking during this show with the last minute scratching. So no, not really. Good game as everyone sort of expected to be. Two teams that have. Tigers have been pretty hot and cold this year, but Parramatta have been red hot. It was always going to be an interesting one. So.
Yeah, mate. I think I'll try and stay on the chat a bit if I can, given Joshy's not here, as best I can, but try and keep moving along. I think with the return of 12, Sai, he was awesome. He's still pretty cheap. His break even's not huge, but he's only just over 500k, and he was pumping out some really good numbers before he got injured. So, he's possibly on the list. It might be depending on his fitness and how he comes back. I don't know if he's going to be playing big minutes again like he was straight away, but yeah, we'll see what happens with 12. Oh, here he is. He's actually on.
He's in the fucking. Get on Skype, you prick.
Give us a please explain, Joshy. What's doing? Mate, the first game on the Friday, I didn't watch this one. It was Manly taking on the Cowboys up there at their new stadium, Queensland Country Bank. Eagles getting the chockies in the end. I think they pretty much did it comfortably. In the end, Supercoach wise, it was Big K Cuss for the
big one of
Eagles.
I think one of you fellas fucking talked up Cuss a couple of weeks ago as well. As should it be a regular start in the Manly side.
Yeah, I think Joshy was a big fan of him, and I think he was always their best sort of option there. But Joshy was sort of, questioning why he wasn't. But yeah, scored a try, had a hand in a try assist there. Was involved in a couple line breaks as well. From looking at the stats here, so 104 points for him. Francis Molo for the top scored for the Cows with 95. So bit of an outlier there for the big man. Sirenen was big once again. Again, these guys are all sort of pretty pod players, unlikely to be in a lot of teams, probably more draft sort of pickups. And Tamalo was pretty decent. Maguire keeps churning out the good scores. Jakey Trbojevic and AFB were pretty solid. Martin Tapau, again, for anyone that picked him up a few weeks ago, 400k or even, last couple of weeks, still pumping out some reasonable scores considering he doesn't play huge minutes, Big Marty. Got plenty of offloads in him and that sort of thing. Bogan, I didn't watch this one, mate, so I don't have too much else to say. You got any thoughts on this one?
No, I didn't watch it. I didn't watch it either. To be honest, there's a few new video games out this week, so I didn't watch a lot of footy. But Ben Hampton watched 6 points. So there you go. For people that are still clinging on to faith in Ben Hampton. Yeah, still shit house.
It feels like he's sort of epitomising my season with these rubbish scores each week. We're sort of like on the same wavelength. Maybe he's my voodoo doll or something. Old cuzzy.
So on to the fucking weekly paddling of the fucking Broncos.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Look, I think it was
They're
a
fucked. They're
torrential
fucked.
rain early.
Yeah.
The first half it wasn't too. I think they trailed at half time or 8-6 or something like that. There wasn't much in it at half time. It might have been. Well, maybe there was a late try for. Maybe it was a 12-6 game or something like that. There wasn't much in it at half time, and it was absolutely pissing down those. So I think that limited what type of footy that could have been played. It keeps it pretty one-dimensional. We can't throw the ball around.
Josh is
Joshy's calling in.
Yeah, but he's trying to fucking call in on a separate call. So
fucking get in the right call, Josh. You're calling in the wrong one. You're causing all sorts here. Yeah. So Melbourne ended up running away with it and absolutely toweling Brisbane up in the end. Top scores for each side. Carrigan 64, absolutely awesome cow this year. Sort of 64 points, played a fair few minutes. Haas was pretty quiet, but yeah, they absolutely copped a hiding. So these guys are doing plenty of defending. Pappenhausen on the Melbourne side of things was big once again. He's a bit of a yo-yo this season. Bogan, he scores 100 and then 30 the next week, 100 and then 30 the next week. Plenty of people brought in Cam Smith this week, and he repaid people there. Got a try assist, kicked plenty of goals, made plenty of tackles. Yeah, he was in everything basically. 110 for Cameron Smith. So a big price rise as well. So I ended up going Cookie over Smith. So absolutely stinging over that one now, mate. And I thought, go something a little bit different. I think the ownership percentage was about the same, but Smithy absolutely producing the goods. Just, it's amazing. I think he's 37 years old, Bogan or something like that, which is it's just crazy to think he still keeps producing. I think we got him in. Is he in?
I'm trying to get him in.
Munster, I think Munster, I thought he was owed some points here, but it's finished on 77, which was pretty good. Jerome Hughes scored a double, 93 there. Have we got you? Is he in? I can hear something.
I can hear him fucking around with his mic in the background. So
hello.
I can hear you. Can you? People in the chat, can you hear him?
Yeah, they can hear him.
Oh, you got the bloke beer, mate.
Yeah, mate, I'm a big fan of it.
Very good.
Where are you?
In the kitchen trying to cook some dinner.
What time is it there? 8:20.
What's happening?
Mate,
well, I think I was getting that much shit in the chat. I better fucking jump on. Jesus.
Fuck, I wonder what your excuse was. I didn't even know you weren't playing. Playing tonight, mate. What's doing?
The videos disappeared.
So we're absolutely flying tonight.
We're having a fucking fantastic show. Tonight. It's just all fucking up Bogan tonight. It's about my fucking fourth Simpsons reference.
That's all right. Tino Farmalasana. No disrespect, I've got no idea how to say that last name. Let's just call him Tino. Massive signing. I agree. In the chat, whoever said that.
Aaron Molan.
Fasul Malloy. Nah, get off it. No insider jokes here.
Looker, fucking.
He's going to be a big signing. He looks real good. He just gets better and better every week. Got a double in that 110, mate, but looked really good. But yeah, apart from that, it was an absolute toweling for Brisbane. I think a few people might have jumped on that O'Carr as well. He was under 400, so he scored a double, and a few people were rewarded there as well. So onwards and upwards. Brisbane, I've got no idea. Changes everywhere. I think Boyd's playing fullback this week. We'll have a look when we get to the team list. But yeah, I got no words on Brisbane at the moment, mate.
Now everyone's getting a look at the fucking OBS screen, which is like...
You jump us into the Saturday, which was...
Yeah, hold on, I'm fucking around.
Warriors Chooks.
All right, Warriors Chooks, here we go.
So a bit of a, I don't think many people predicted this one. One for myself, I had Teddy as captain. The Warriors looked impressive. They showed up to play. That said, Chooks weren't, they weren't great. And I think, the withdrawal of Cordner and obviously no Angus as well.
Mate, I tell you what they did do, Brent, though. They came ready for Teddy. You'd see that sort of third man in from the wing, that second rower, anytime Teddy was getting the ball wide, whether it was on the right side or the left side, mate, they absolutely hammered in like that umbrella defence and just didn't give him any time. He didn't have any time to advance the ball, pass the ball. What did he end up scoring? 53 for all us who captained him. Yeah.
So pretty much all base for him, really. No major attacking stats or anything. But, yeah, they shut him down. Absolutely, mate. So they went in leading at halftime, I think, as well, Joshy. So, there was the upset was on the boil, but Keary stepped up for him in the end, got them over the line. He was top scorer there for... Oh, no, sorry, Joe Manu, top scorer for the Chooks with a try, but Keary scored one, set one up. Lise Katoa was awesome on his return. I think he played... Did he play 80? I don't know if he played 80.
He did.
Played 80. He was involved in plenty of base. Scored that try just before half-time as well. Looked really good. I think be one of the rookies of the year. I don't know if you count Harry Grant as a rookie of the year, but he looks like he's going to be an absolute superstar for the next few weeks, mate. So, for the next few years, rather. So, Gomez, get your hand off it, mate. You don't have Madison, and I had Ramian as well, and you've just crumbled over the line, mate. Get off it. But yeah, Keary looked good. I mean, he was quite pivotal in that one. Quite the difference in the end, getting Chooks over the line there. Only translated to 66 Supercoach points, but it was pretty massive. I just think that missing those two edge back roles in Angus and Cordner changes the whole dynamic of their attack, Joshy, as well. Not just the fact that the Warriors were able to shut down Teddy really well, but just not having those guys out there run those lines, those familiar faces out there for those Chooks halves and that, creating that threat, and also the timing of it all. The Chooks just looked really clunky at times. So, but like I said, as the good teams do, they just get the job done. They got the win and moved on. And that's all that matters, as they always do.
To them, mate, they're not looking at Supercoach. They're just worried about the 2 points. And
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. And then we moved into the second game on Saturday that was absolutely marred in controversy here, mate. Can you talk us through this? Did you watch it at all?
I did, mate. I watched the whole game. Look, what a ridiculous call. I mean, we were on the end of the right one this time with obviously the Jack Williams try that should have dead set been a no try. Mate, look, how do you get it? They've got that many friggin' camera angles that they can check, and there's no excuses for them to get a wrong decision, really. So, look, I'm not too sure what they were thinking they were looking at, we all know they fucked up.
Yeah, I think in the end they had a couple of opportunities there to win the game as well. I know that the difference was a try, and that try was obviously pretty big in the terms of the timing of the game early, but they did have some opportunities to win it. It is, McGregor, it's easy for him to blow up, but this shit unfortunately happens every single week, as we're aware. It's just, I don't know how you fix it, mate. Like you say, they've got every camera angle in the world. They've got all the technology, all the bunkers here, there, and everywhere, and they still manage to have some absolute howlers.
And mate, I agree with sort of what Johnny Morris said. Like after the match, you can look at that incident and isolate it as they got it wrong, but you look at the first try that St George scored as well, and I think the tackle before, Dufty made a bit of a break. He got tackled on halfway, and mate, he dead set drops the ball in to play the ball. Like, they say he regained it or whatever, but the fact was that he regained it when the ball was touching the ground. So, look, the one that they look at because it resulted in a direct try off the same play, that's the one that you got to scrutinise. But
I'm now hearing they're talking about getting rid of the bunker possibly at the end of the year, or letting them rule on forward passes. It's just an absolute shambles. I think, you go back to the days without it and we would have been better off, or, the ref's call or whatever.
That's probably one that I can't realise what they're doing is obviously forward passes, because you got to think that the bunker should be able to rule on that. I mean,
with all the fucking technology they've got.
yeah.
Oh, here we go. Both up on screen now.
Hey, look out, here he is. What that? Get the makeup off, Joshy. He's been in drag. He's been in drag today.
Moroccan chicken for a late dinner.
Lowered the ears, Josh. Joshy, you got a
Yeah, I
haircut,
was going to say, mate, you get attacked by a fucking lawnmower.
Yeah, absolutely. Every now and then I do it. The bald spot keeps getting bigger, so I've just got to, your hair can't get too long these days. I tell you what, while I'm cooking, no one needs to see this. No one needs to see my secrets in the MasterChef kitchen.
Secret herbs and spices of Joshy King, mate.
Right.
Back to the Supercoach side of things. Zach Lomax is just absolutely keeps reducing for owners, mate.
Zach Lomax.
123 points. Was in absolutely everything and was, looking like anything that was going to happen in terms of Dragons coming back was going to come off the back of him. He scored a double, set one up, kicks all the goals. His work rate for a centre is massive as well, and that's one of those things that sort of sets him apart as well. His base is he's cracking 30 points in base for a centre every week, which is pretty good. So you add the goals minimum and he's probably going to score, as long as they score 2 or 3 tries each week and he's getting that 30 points in base, he's probably going to get 40 to 50 points without even doing anything. And he's now looking better every week in terms of getting those attacking points. So he's haunting me absolutely to death. One of those guys I didn't start the year with and I could never bring him in just because I always saw him as a cheapie, and the more money he made, the more reason I couldn't bring him in. And I think he's like the second most expensive centre winger at the moment. So you've got no reason to sell him.
Mate, at the start of the year, after the first 2 weeks before COVID, and then even after COVID came back, he really didn't sort of hit form straight away. And I thought, beauty, I've dodged a bullet here that everyone else, well, not everyone, but a lot of people had. And, mate, the last 6, maybe 7 weeks, just week in, week out, he's gotten better and better. I'm not too sure if McGregor's still got thoughts about him at fullback, but he's definitely found his position there at centre. He's a huge body. He knows how to work that right-hand side really, really well. His combination has been good. A few flick passes. We saw the flick pass from Dufty. I think it was Dufty to him on the weekend for him to score that try. Mate, I'm absolutely dirty that a player like that, we've missed him. Like every year there's 1 or 2 blokes that you miss, but you don't really get hurt that hard by it. Whereas this bloke, this is the difference. I think this bloke between us being sort of top 7,000, 8,000 and top 1,000. You look at the points he scored in the last 4 or 5 weeks. I think we've probably missed 300 points, 400 points, and where does that get you to? So anyway.
Oh yeah, absolutely, mate. And it's one. I'm sure if you go back and have a look, it was one of the first seasons I think I started with. 3 or 4 guys worth 400, opposed to these bloody blokes that were priced around 200k. Kurt Mann is another one. If you started with Lomax and Mann and you've still got them, you're going to be miles ahead of anyone else that's seriously playing, because they just constantly pump. And at one point they would have been in everyone's sort of calculations. It's just whether you actually did or not, and they're absolutely fucking killing it, and it was doing my head in. But moving on from Lomax, fuck Lomax. SJ was big, scored a try, pretty much led it for the Cronulla there. Had a try assist, kicked a few goals. A line break in there. Dufty keeps pumping it out. He's nearly worth 600k. Big Ted will love this one. Shout out for you, Big Ted. Absolutely hates Matt Dufty, I think. But his combination, looks really good with Lomax as well, as you mentioned. Had a couple try assists in there, a couple line breaks as well, a little pocket rocket.
Yeah.
Sharon Woods, probably not relevant anymore, but he was pretty big for him, mate.
He scored a try here.
McInnes was good, mate. I was a bit concerned. I was actually thinking about, is it time to possibly get off McInnes with the shift to 13? But, played for 80. Yeah.
What's an acceptable score for him?
I've sort of... The thing about it, and we mentioned it sort of last week, is he's going to get that base. He'll probably make 50 tackles every week, but he doesn't have much else to him in terms of his attacking stats. So if he's you're only getting 60 points in base. He's probably not getting too much else generally, unless he's getting a few offloads or tackle busts in there.
Yeah.
He pumped out 69 points in base on the weekend, but he also had some extra stats to that. So he's 83. If he can score 65 plus every week, it's probably all right. It's just I didn't want to see him, only pumping out the 55, 60 in base and then have an error or two or a couple of missed tackles or whatever it is. And, he's only scoring low 60s and then it starts to sing a bit. But that's, from someone that paid, I think, $670 or $680K for him, as I did at the time, the premium price for him. But I still think he's a massive buy. He's been shifted back to the 9 this week as well. Clunes, I'm not sure why Clunes out, but looks like he's a hold. Obviously had bigger problems last week, so held on to him, which was good. But yeah.
Oh, and we better give everyone a little quick peas and carrots update. It's not good news. She's been retired.
Oh really?
Yeah, she we spoke about last week how she ran a long last at Bundaberg. She's broken her hock, so basically she's broken her ankle. We're going to give her 2 to 3 months out and maybe bring her back, but at the same stage, we're probably just going to try and breed with her straight away. So she'll be having some puppies soon. We'll get some roast and gravy or something to go along with the peas and carrots. But yes, looks like
mate,
the end of the Greyhound saga with BJ on game day.
I was going to say, mate, one of those pups better be called BJ on game day.
We'll find something to get there. Yeah.
Oh, look, commiserations, mate. I'll have some peas and carrots for dinner this week in memory of.
Cheers, buddy.
Of the old girl.
It was a fucking long and illustrious career under the stewardship of Josh King.
Yeah. Obviously, not the best ownership that I've ever had on a greyhound, but I tell you what, she did all right. She'll produce some good pups as well. So yeah.
Oh, and hopefully
anyway.
not omen for us here either. Bloody hell.
I
feel like we've got a broken hock. We've got
a fucking broken arse bone.
Look, wish her all the best, mate. I think we move on for another game. I don't think there was much else to talk about in that one.
Well, I did move on to the next game. Fucking half an hour.
What was the next game?
It was fucking Rabbitohs going down to the Raiders.
Oh yeah. Yeah, but Supercoach, there wasn't much going on here anyway.
Cam Murray showing a little bit of form, but was a low-scoring Supercoach match in general.
Oh, it was a pretty interesting game of footy. A bit of an plenty of injuries all over the shop. Obviously, Nickel Clockstad had the skeleton finger. I think it was a compound dislocation in the end. Alex Johnson was lost early as well. It was all happening out there, but Joey Tapine stepped up for the Raiders. Had a big performance. Murray was massive, 51 tackles, mate. He's still pretty cheap on Murray. Still not playing 80 minutes. Bennett, absolute killing us out there.
I got on him last week, Murray. I brought him in.
Go.
Yeah.
I think it was his second or third best score of the year, just looking at this, mate, apart from a ton that he had. So, classic blessed behaviour from you, Josh. He's 70 points in base.
Look, I felt it was time, like we sort of talked about him at the start of the year, how Bennett went through his his experiments with Liam Knight, how that didn't work. Shut up, Bogan.
Still on the list.
He's still on the list. But, mate, Cam Murray, he really hasn't hit those heights of what he did last year. But I just thought that now that Cookie's had that little bit of return to form, maybe that Murray would follow suit. Because obviously a lot of good things that Murray does in attack comes directly off Cookie. So, yeah, mate, that was just a bit of a pun on my side. And obviously 80 points you're going to take from any player every week. If we could average every player 80, we'd be in the top 10. But,
you take it every day of the week. I think South's have got a reasonable draw coming up as well, mate. So if he's going to get any, attacking stats, it's probably going to be after this game here. Cookie owners were pretty disappointed with this one. There was pretty much no attacking stats for Cookie in this one. So for someone like myself that brought him in this week, mate, he made 50 tackles, but that was about it. So 52 was a bit hard to take. Cameron Smith was 50k cheaper and scored 60 more points. So
you brought him in instead of Cam Smith?
I did, yeah.
Oh, that hurts, yeah.
Anyway, we'll see what happens over the next few weeks. But Smith's already got a 60-point start from the week that I've gone him alone. But anyway, look, Papali was okay, but nothing special for his price. Adam Reynolds scored 66, but I think you're right. Not much happened in Supercoach. Some pretty low scores across the board. But it looks like Stan and Kay will miss a couple of weeks. So, with that dislocated compound finger. So, what do we move on? Oh, fuck me. Can we skip this next game?
How bad were we? Fucking hell.
Oh, I don't even know what to say. I was absolutely filthy sitting on the lounge watching it. The missus there. Mate, I don't want to make any excuses, but it was absolutely torrential rain. And that for a start, that bridges the gap, the difference in skill, obviously. You can't play that footy that we like to play, probably a bit more passing, and, relying on guys like Power and that sort of thing. But
you're gonna blame it on the rain, are you, Billy Manilli?
No. That aside,
because the Bulldogs had to play in the fucking rain too.
Yeah, but all they do is one out hit ups anyway, and that's all they have to do in the rain. Look, we started terribly. I think off the kickoff, Lachlan Fitzgibbons dropped the ball on the second tackle. It was 6-0 at halftime, so regardless of what happened, we were still within striking distance at halftime and should have got the job done. First kick after halftime, Ponga's dropped it off a kick return, just being an absolute wanker, trying to pick the ball up in the absolute wet. And they've scored not long after that, and we just left it too late. We made a late comeback, but it was no good.
Ben G in the chat, Knights are now on the list.
Fucking oath they are, mate. Fucking oath they are.
Well, someone got at me not that long ago for not having any Knights players. I still don't have any of them. I'm glad after watching that. Although Big Clem had a solid game.
Yeah, look, the boys having a fucking good season. Fucking Clem,
look, you can't go past. Let's not forget we had McCulloch get injured with his Torrey's hamstring off the bone. We've had Watson come out and do his Achilles, and that's already after we've lost Jaden Brayley earlier in the season. We've got no hookers. We're absolutely fucked now. We got Randall who come in, but oh my God, it was one of the most frustrating things to see. We win that game. We sit in the top 4 outright. We're playing last place. They've won one game all year, and we fucking throw out that sort of shit. Just makes me absolutely sick. It was absolutely. Oh, I'm getting flashbacks to how filthy I was again. Tolman scored the first try of the game. That probably sums it all up. He scored 117 points there. Our boys in the middle were massive, mate. As you said, I think Clem played 80 minutes just because of a few of the injuries. Barnett was massive for us. I think he played nearly 80 minutes as well. I think he might be on the radar this week for anyone that's looking for something a little bit different. He's only 500k, but he was also massive for us. Kurt Mann, as much as I hate to say it, was probably our best on the field. If anything was going to happen, it was going to happen off the back of Kurt Mann.
Did he score 92 points?
He scored 92 points. He set up a try at a crucial moment. He moved into the middle at one point there once we lost those guys in the middle. So he made a heap of tackles. He's made nearly 50-odd tackles. So that helped his score a bit as well. But again, he's just one of these guys like Lomax that's just producing absolutely deluxe.
Tell you what, mate, they should give Danny Badiris a call. He might play again.
Fuck me, just give anyone a call. Fucking unbelievable. I just want to.
He'll do it for a couple of
Benny, I'm telling you, mate. I was filthy. Lucky I don't own a dog. I'll tell you that. I would have been kicking it. I was disgusted. Anyway, Safidi was big, mate. I played him last week in his 17. Didn't play him this week. He only played 50 minutes, but he's pumped out 67 points in base. It really was that game in the middle there. So for any of the forwards, plenty of points on offer. I think you talked down RFM last week as a pod too to Benny, I think it was. So good work there, Joshy. He's turned up this week.
Well, I brought him into both my draft teams.
No, you didn't. Doesn't Kando have him in BJ?
I've only got him in one of them. I definitely got him in one of them.
Oh, maybe now it's one. Now it's 50% of draft teams. It's
well, fuck. Well, I've only got two. It's either 100 or 50. No, not so much that he wasn't a pod. Obviously, he's pod with his ownership, but I just didn't think he was worth grabbing more so. Obviously, 3 weeks in a row he scored a try. But his minutes have been huge. I think he's been playing full 80. I didn't expect him to play 80. Although, again, you probably look at George Arliss now that coaching change has happened. Hay tended to, I guess, rotate a lot more with blokes like Adam Elliott and Chris Smith and those kinds of guys off the bench. So, anyway.
But he talks me out of him and then gets him. Classic Josh behaviour, that one, boys.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Shana Abarillo as well. He keeps churning out some money for him. That's sat on him. He scored that fucking disgusting try that rebounded off someone and he's kicking goals as well, so that's good. I just want to forget about this one. I think we've got Melbourne next week, so it doesn't even get any better. But let's fucking move it along. The final game of the round, I reckon Penrith were looking shaky at one point here. Josh, did you watch this at all?
Yeah, I did, mate. Sorry, I'm half eaten while I'm fucking doing this. It wasn't impressive, was it? And this is sort of what I spoke about last week, was I wasn't too certain that Penrith would have that cohesion, obviously with Appy out, Mitch Kenny in at dummy half. They probably played better than I thought they would, but I just thought the Titans also stepped up a little bit. Similar to the Warriors against the Roosters, I just thought, that the underdogs really sort of had a crack this week. So Panthers still too classy in the end. But, points-wise, could have been a few better Supercoach points across the board.
Well, they had, I think, Kickout was a late scratching as well. No Coruscant, no Edwards. So they had a few outs. They still got the job done. The good teams, like I said, your Parramatters, your Chooks, even your Raiders, they just get the job done. Unlike us, we fucking lose to the team in last spot. So Penrith just did enough. Guys across the board there. They didn't no massive scores. Yo stepped up there in the middle. Mitch Kenny was a good fill-in for Appy there. Didn't do anything amazing. Just did what he had to do for him. Crichton scored again. Mansell scored. All on that left edge was really good for him. Luai looked really good. I thought he was in for a bit of a day there where he set up the first couple, mate. But Cleary, obviously a lot of people had the captaincy on Cleary. Didn't do anything crazy. So anyone that didn't go with Teddy went with Cleary. It pretty much finished level in the end, mate.
That's what annoyed me. I was saying that obviously Cleary was playing very average, and he still managed to match Teddy pretty much. So,
well, and Teddy was sitting on like mid-60s at one point there, I think, and downdated a fair bit late. So, I think Brent Naden looks really good, mate. Supercoach-wise didn't score heaps, but I think he looks.
He's a good footballer, right?
He's good. I reckon he'd be a good Origin. But I mean, the next few years, I think he could be one of the, supreme centres in the competition, along with Crichton potentially as well. But yeah, Naden looks really, really good. I hope he's a New South Welshman. I can only assume he is. And another bloke that's an absolute cannonball that he's been playing the past few weeks and he's not Supercoach relevant is that Spencer Lenu. I don't know what his name is, but
yep.
I'd probably rather go run in traffic than have him run at me.
Mate, he was a cheapie I had last year. I think he's obviously, got that bench spot a little bit more now. But him and Moses Leota, same thing. They get so much value out of their bench, Penrith. Pretty impressive.
Absolutely. So, start rounding out round 11, mate.
There we go.
We're on to round 12 now. Do we?
Move on.
12. Indigenous round. Plenty of colourful jerseys out and about. SBW is going to be in here soon. So what, we got Thursday night with Dragons taking on the Rabbits. What are you liking in this one, bud? Anything tickling your fancy?
Fucking Lomax to score under 30 would be nice.
Torrential rain.
Actually. No, but fucking rained a ton last week. He still scored 120 points to prick.
How about the weather, though? Just killed a lot of the games. Like, I know that Melbourne still ended up, all their guns got it done, but it was an absolute killer as a Ponga and Best owner. Rainy one, but there was plenty of rain about, plenty of injuries. But Latrell's back for South, mate. I've considered Latrell this week. I don't know, call me crazy. I don't know what's doing. My team's crazy in all sorts, so I figure what more I've got to lose.
Well, the news came out today about obviously Brett Morris, for me, his spinal fracture or whatever it is.
Oh, yep.
Nothing near the spinal cord, but according to NRL physio, 3 to 5 weeks out. So, I mean, yeah, I'm in the position where basically I've got 4 gun centres, and one of them's gone now. So, do I go Latrell? I could go to Lomax.
Fucking bring in Lomax.
Oh, I can't do it. My heart can't do it. I
Kurt
can't.
Mann's next up, mate, surely.
No, neither of them.
No, you
Neither
couldn't do
of
it, could ya?
They're not on the list, but they're on my internal list, like there's something about them this year I can't have them.
Nah,
But anyway.
I couldn't do it. Just because they were cheapies, I just can't do it. I'm seeing people on pages bringing in Mann and loving it, and I'm just thinking, fuck me, I can't do it. Yeah, look, a bit of a reshuffle for St. George, mate. As I said, McInnes is back in the 9. Clune, he failed his HIA. So they'll him and Merrin are both this week, which means Benny Hunt will slide back into the halves. McInnes will play back to 9. I don't think it'll affect his score too much. Maybe, close to the line if the Dragons can even get there. He might, get the odd barge over from someone, maybe get a junk try assist or something like that. But yeah, looking at Latrell, he's pretty cheap, but he's just got no base points. So if you get him, he's got to get attacking stats. Otherwise, he's not a busy fullback at all. He's a lazy bastard. So it's tempting with Ramian. I don't trust blokes that do the hemis. I just can't do it. So he's almost a straight swap for Ramian. But looking at Latrell, I'm hoping Cookie goes big. I hope it's a dry track. And he makes up for fucking last week.
We know what we're going to get out of Latrell at least. Like, as silly and inconsistent as it sounds, I mean, you're either going to get a player that looks like he's going to score 120 or one that's going to score 20. So as long as you're happy with either way, you can get on him because at the end of the day, by the year's end, his probably average will be somewhere around that sort of 50 to 55. You just got to hope that the right weeks come up where he does score big.
I think as well, like you need those guys that have the high shillings. He's proven that he can go 100 plus. He hasn't done it as much this season. I think there's only been the one time he's gone, really big. Their draw's good for the next sort of 4 or 5 weeks. It's pretty reasonable. They don't play any elite teams now for the next about 4 weeks. But if you think about your head-to-head finals, if you're in any cashies or anything like that, starting in round 17, they play Melbourne that week. And then they play the Tigers, the Dogs, and they finish with the Chooks. So you might be able to jump on him for the next few weeks and then reassess come round 17 when your head-to-head finals start or whatever it is you got going on.
Yeah, no, true. What's the second game up, mate?
What's that? The Friday at 6, we got the Tigers taking on the Warriors. So I think... Yep, Sydney Cricket Ground.
It pissed me off. I played Billy Walters last week. I'm not sure why, because obviously Luke Brooks there on the bench robs him of minutes, points, however you want to have a look at it. But he looks good, Walters, when he's sort of active, but he's just sort of, with you got Benji as the chief playmaker when Brooks comes on. But, mate, Supercoach-wise here, Luciano scored a first try there last week. I've seen one of these big multis one of the lads put up. He's obviously hit form, which is good. Up against the Warriors, they'll find a few holes here. The Warriors have had a few lads go home. So, Daniel Alvaro, George Jennings have been loaned in, which I don't know. Look, I'm glad because at the end of the day, without the Warriors, we don't really have the 16-team comp that we'd love. But I'm not too sure how much of a fan of all this loaning players I am.
Oh, I like it this season. It's been pretty unique this season.
I was going to say it's desperation stage.
Given everything, yeah. But when you hear about someone like SBW back to the Chooks, you think, surely what's doing? Yeah, sure, there's going to be someone coming in and go, the Warriors are in desperate need here. They're bloody, loaning players wherever they can, guys going back home, But yeah. I think the other thing that's reminded me seeing Jack Hetherington in the starting lineup. How good was his to and fro with Big JWH last week, mate? Did you see any of that?
I'm eating, mate. Yep.
He's back on the Moroccan chicken.
Sorry, mate.
I'll tell you, it was good.
Trying to get this down.
They nearly come to fisticuffs, and Ria Hargraves didn't like it at the end of the game. He didn't want to have a bar of it. So much for what happens on the field stays on the field. So it was good to see Big Jacko. Apparently, he can throw them too. Shano was telling me. So I think Ria Hargraves is an absolute grub. So it would have been nice to see him get a couple planted on him.
Mate, yeah, Jacko, look, I haven't really liked him at Penrith the last couple of seasons. Every time he comes on, very much a Cronulla player. so I probably should like him. But, I think he's probably Paul Gallen reincarnated. Now he's just got to show the ability on the footy field. But, mate, obviously there was a bit of niggle, the bullshit in social media, and obviously JWH not shaking hands afterwards. Yeah, it's, as they said it on Facebook, pretty much just a sook move. So, it made me sort of think of Jackie in a bit of a better light. So good on him.
Yeah, no, I like him now. I'm a big fan. I reckon Benny's come up with a call. He said, Josh, microwave it lady, RFM stealer. I like it. Jaz Tavanga, he didn't play big minutes. He only played 50 minutes and his base was about a point per minute. He's 510k, high 50 break even. I still don't think he's a massive buy yet until you see the minutes increase, but they have increased each week. I'm pretty keen to get back on him, but that's just because my team's rubbish and I need something different. But I don't think he's someone you've got to get in straight away, but he's definitely got to be still on the watch list. Tohu was probably pretty solid again. What did he do on the weekend? Just 80 minutes, 6-7 points in base. So Tohu's still, pumping it out for anyone that's brought him in. He's been absolutely massive for the last probably 10 weeks, to be fair. I don't know who else we got in that game. Obviously, Twil's back. Eisenhuth is out of the team completely. He's not even in the 21. Blaw's held his spot. So a few changes around the place, but I think that's probably about it, Supercoach-wise. Maybe Harry Grant is a sneaky VC option or a captaincy option for anyone looking for a bit of differential. Maybe Nofo as well.
Mate, I do not understand Michael Maguire and how he rotates the forwards or whatever. I mean, Matthew Eisenhuth's not being there. It just doesn't make sense. Does it make sense to you, mate?
Nah. I don't know if he's just looking for a bit of different impact off the bench. What he gets out of Twile, he gets out of Eisenhuth, and he doesn't want two of that. Like Blaw's only debuted last week, and he's kept his spot, but I think it was the fact that he adds a bit of mongrel to the pack and obviously fronted up to Brown. So, yeah, I don't know. Pass. I'm not an NRL coach, so obviously, mate. This next one puts a bit of pressure on your boys. Absolute blockbuster on the Friday night,
mate.
7:55 at Suncorp.
I tell you what, I'm not fucking happy. I'm not happy because this is the type of game that Cronulla will just fucking lose. I know it. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go.
You going to it?
Yeah.
The OBS is fucking out again, fellas. So, it's up now. Just took a while to catch up.
Yeah, mate. I'll head up to watch the boys, but I'm not really going to be happy about it because there's all that expectation there that with how bad the Broncos are going, that they should get beat by anyone. And typical of Cronulla will be them that actually loses to them and gets them off that losing streak. So, yeah, I don't know, mate. It's not going to be fun to go and watch, that's for sure.
Mate, the boys have been up. Dugan's 200th, according to NRL.com. Dugan might actually play. This one's, he's a dodge a bullet, no Fafita. Boyd at fullback. Like, come on. I think Milford. Milford still might be out.
The form they're in, it doesn't get any easier than this, but that's the problem. It's exactly the problem. The pressure that it puts on the stupid fucking side like Cronulla, they will fuck it up. I just guarantee it. I remember there maybe early last year. I think we played Brisbane in about round 6 or round 7 of last year, and we started favourites. It was up here at Suncorp. And I think within about 10 minutes, they were up 24-0 on us, and we were never in the game. And I'm not saying that's going to happen this time, but I feel like we're not going to be, like Gomez has put up there 30+. I feel like we're going to be nowhere near a 30+ win over the Broncos. Yeah, I don't know.
I remember that game last year. If anything, you want Boyd still at centre because he's such a bad defender. So they've sort of fixed that. But they've got so many new combinations out there. I think for you guys, you need someone like Ramian to play. Connor Tracy looks pretty good, to be fair. I think it'll be good to see him get a go, mate.
Yeah.
Supercoach-wise, he's probably not overly relevant, but be good to see him get a crack. I think for
mate,
Big Andrew was trying to fight to make the squad, but he hasn't been named in the 21, which is probably good for you guys. But looking for those boys
mate.
off the bench, Talakai, Royce Hunt, like you've had, even that Wilton looks all right, mate. Those boys come off the bench, had a bit of a different dynamic for you guys.
Yeah, big, tall, rangy back rower, that Tig Wilton. He sort of reminded me a bit of like Gavin Cooper style. So it'll be interesting to see how he develops over the next sort of months and towards the end of the season. Royce Hunt was huge last week. I think we saw the stats on a few different pages, 29 minutes for over 200 metres. So he definitely put the foot down last week. And, he's going to make a little bit of nice cash for me off the bench there, mate.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, interesting one, I reckon Turpin back at 9 for him. I think Turpin's got a bit of go about him, so it'll be interesting to see if he just adds a little bit of spark for him, but I'm not expecting much.
I tell you what, if I was...
in doubt as well, apparently Haas hadn't undergone a fitness test. I don't know if anyone's got an update on that, whether he's passed or he's all good, but possibly you'd be looking at VC on SJ.
If I was a punter, which obviously I'm not, I'd be on Turpin to score a try sometime during this game. First game back against the Sharks, you can be a little bit iffy up the middle in defence. Broncos under pressure. I reckon I don't know what he'd be anytime try scorer. I see all these multis going up, but he'd be one I'd throw in for a same game multi, I reckon.
All right, we'll see what happens, but can't wait to tune in on that one and ruin my Friday night at 7:55 this week.
Yes, I'll go live from the game.
Mate, this is the one that everyone's probably looking forward to for some Supercoach porn. It won't be hopefully entertaining to watch from a contest perspective, but from how many people are going to have the captaincy on Teddy this week? 80,000%.
Mate, well, if the Gold Coast learn from what happened last week, and like I said, how the Warriors sort of shut him down, mate, yeah, look, He's a clear captain choice, but we could see another 50 points out of him if the Titans have looked right and done right. But anyway.
Titans maybe, I don't want to say on the upper, but they're turning a corner, I reckon. They're looking a little bit better. That said, Roosters will probably come out and put 60 on them, but, they competed last week against Penrith. I think they copped the sausage the week before against Melbourne, but, there's some big signings coming. They're probably trying to build for next year as well. So we'll see. They're starting to get a bit of familiarity. What's the word I'm looking for there? In their back line. So some regular names in the 1 to 7 with their halves combo and those outside backs trying to, I guess, cement some combinations out there and that sort of thing. So you never know, but I still think there should be far too much class in the Chook side. Still those...
Yeah, you say that, but look, we speak about the outs. I mean, you've still got Teddy there and you've still got Keary, which is great. But the edge back rows you were just about to mention, Angus Crichton. Mm-hmm. You've got Victor Radley's gone. You've got Boyd Cordner's gone. Yep. Verrills is gone. You've got, obviously, BMOS is out.
Yep.
Daniel Tupou's out. Like, there's a lot of outs. That's half a first-grade side that's sitting on the bench. And as big as their sombrero is, I mean, at some stage it's going to tell. And what I think it's going to be about is not so much about them, but about how the Titans can sort of pressure that and push them out of their sort of comfort zone. And that's what I mean. Last week, the Warriors did it well against Teddy. He's going to be their main sort of attacking, weapon. So if you can shut him down, where do they go to next? And I mean, I think then the question just becomes, have the Titans got enough points in them to beat them? But, yeah, I don't think it's as open and shut as people are probably thinking.
Oh, and I think the weather is, again, I think Chooks at the SCG generally goes well. I think they lost to the Raiders the other week there, but I think if you look at history, they've put absolute cricket scores on at the cricket ground, believe it or not. I think interesting to see how Titans respond early. Maybe it's a close 40 minutes, but if the Chooks go in early, they might end up piling it on. I still think, Collins and Butcher coming off the bench, so they're still got a decent bench. Lamb looked good at times there. So I don't know if the Titans will be able to compete for 80, but I'm expecting Keary or Flanagan to probably tear him apart inside out, and Tedesco as well. Ryan Hall probably comes back into contention, Supercoach wise, mate. Looks like B-Moz is out for 3 to 5 weeks.
No.
So Hall's an option.
On the list.
He'll score not only will he score his first try in the tricolours, he'll probably score 3 or 4.
He's on the list.
The Titan side of things, I think Jairo is becoming very irrelevant very quickly. Like I said, I think he's thinking of the beaches of Redfern at the moment. Even Moe's getting pretty quiet.
Mate, it's funny. We obviously brought up there last week his missus. I saw a photo someone put on Facebook during the week. They broke up a couple of months ago. So maybe that's what. Yeah, maybe that's why he's got out of form. Is apparently about 6 weeks ago they broke up, and I reckon you could probably hold to it that form change has been what's stopped him. So
I feel for the bloke if that's the case. No wonder he's cutting his hair like that. He's on bloody.
I tell you what, any Jairo owners, you need to go matchmaking for him and try and find him a new missus. I mean, it'll be hard to find one that matches up looks wise, but if she can give him a good BJ on game day, he'll be doing all right.
Well, because he got all the publicity for his mullet, and they were throwing up pictures of her again, like as if they were still together. Yeah, but maybe that's fired him up for this week. Maybe the media's stirred him up a bit, and he might fire up. But yeah, look,
Benny in the chat. So she's single, mate. I'd say she is, but just not for an ugly bastard like you, mate, or me.
I wonder if she plays Supercoach.
Yeah. Maybe that's why. Maybe she's.
Yeah, look.
To be fair, maybe she's just not that fucking keen to move to fucking Sydney.
Yeah, maybe Redfern's not her scene.
Yeah.
Look, I think still cricket score for the Chooks. Teddy, a lot of people will chuck the C on him. I reckon I'll probably still leave it on him because I paid $900K for him. So maybe look at Kiri or Flanagan. I'm tipping one of those blokes, and Hall's definitely going to score 100 now. You've put him on the list, King.
Nah, he's on the list. Fucking.
All right.
All right. Question then before we go on.
Yeah.
Kiri or Munster if you had to bring one in?
It has to be Munster. I mean, I'm a big fan of the differentials and all that sort of thing, but Kiri, I think, look, a couple of weeks ago, Kiri scored a double and scored maybe 60 points, and on the weekend again he scored a try, set one up, and only scored 60 points. He's going to have the odd game where he blows up, but he's going to have that game where was it against the Dogs where Teddy scored nearly 200 or whatever it was, and he only scored 20.
Yep.
I don't know. I just think Munster's always sniffing around, taking on the line, tackle breaks, and all that sort of thing. I don't mind Kiri at all. Kiri's very cheap. He's massively cheap, and I talked about him I think last week or the week before. But just looking at his scores, I think you got to go Munster. Munster's just, I personally Munster, but I couldn't blame someone for going Kiri, especially given they play the Titans this week, and I think St. George next week.
Fair enough.
What are you looking? Is that what you're looking at?
No. Oh, mate, I was just contemplating. I've got to sort of look at bringing in. I've brought in Munster this week. Dropping Luai. I think he's sort of maybe. He probably hasn't maxed out on cash, but close enough.
Yeah.
And just with having a trade B-Moz out, I'm probably just looking at bringing in a sort of high-end centre winger other than Lomax or Mann. I'm running out of options, but anyway.
There's not long to go either. There's we're around 12, so you got 9 weeks left. So you got to make it happen. And then the final start in 5 weeks for head-to-head. So yeah, you got to sort it out quickly.
7:30 game, mate. Oh no, 5:30.
5:30. Cows Raiders up there at Country Bank. Rapper at fullback. No Sam K for at least a couple of weeks, bud.
Yep.
Bateman's back into the starting side. Harawira Nero. I'm just going to call him CHN's found himself a 17 jersey.
Oh, he has too. I hadn't looked at teams today, so.
It's all right. Curtis Scott's found his way back into the side.
Have you? Okay, tell me one. Have you got him in draft yet?
Harawira Nero.
Yeah.
I've got him in BJ. I got on him because I'm in all sorts in the back row.
Mate, I fucking knew you would. Like you're on this like a fucking fat
Yeah,
kid
I'm on
on
the buzzer. I'm on the buzzer.
Yeah, you are. You just, oh, fuck, let's get him. Oh, fuck.
Come on, I've got Fafita,
Oh,
Angus, I've got
Jesus
kick
Christ.
out. I've thrown Bateman into the scraps 2 weeks ago, and now the fucker's starting. I'm on him. I don't think he'll ever get that. I don't think he's getting Whitehead's spot, and he's not getting Bateman's spot. So I don't know what role he'll play. It'll be interesting to see how Ricky uses him, whether he chucks him. I mean, I'm not sure whether Bateman won't play, obviously 4 minutes when he returns like he usually does. So I'm interested to see how he goes. I think it'll be exciting for Raiders.
Let's look at that lineup. We're 9 weeks out from the finals, as you say. Mm-hmm. The Raiders are already pretty much in the 8.
Yeah.
You get Bateman back. You get CHN, who is an absolute beast.
Yeah.
Tarpanay's in form. Elliot Whitehead's in form. Hudson Young and Ryan Sutton look good.
I think they look a better
this
side.
This is a solid fucking team.
They look better with Starling and Havili, especially Starling. I think Starling's unreal. Far better than Hodgson, in my opinion, what he offers their side. So, yeah, you're right. I think they're building. They've got a good draw now as well. That was their hardest game on the weekend against the Rabbits for a while. So, even Supercoach-wise, the underperformers like Croker and guys like that, you could start looking at them. I looked at Starling last week. Starling's just solid. I think now you're going to have 2 gun hookers generally, but there was a little period there where he's only 200k. So once Bateman gets a bit of that fitness back, and Harawira Nero is going to add a different dynamic for him. It's as long as those halves can stay fit, Whiten and Williams, they could be there again this year for sure.
Definitely.
That said, they'll probably go up there and lose this weekend. Now we've talked them up.
Oh, probably. Mate, Lolo, bit quiet lately.
Is he? He got 79 on the weekend, didn't he? Leave him alone. Stop.
Doesn't feel like he's. I mean, when you're playing in a team that's this bad, and obviously your coach wants to leave or has left. I know it just seems like he's the only bloke who actually wants to win, and his desperation's got to end eventually. So I don't know.
They need 17 of him. He's the Buddy Franklin of North Queensland. He took the 10-year 10 mil, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. So I mean, I feel for him. They need Morgan back. They really need Morgan back. As good as Arzy's been, and Clifford, and Drinkwater's obviously injured at the moment. They really miss Morgan. I don't know what's happened to Masters. What's happened to Masters? He dropped out of the side this week on.
Yeah, just dropped.
Form.
I'm pretty sure, just on form.
And fair enough. He's been absolutely rubbish.
Yeah, terrible.
They got the hammer at the back there. Holmes is still injured. I think Syndesmosis will be out for a while. They've got a little bit of a nucleus there on paper, but they got plenty of injuries at the moment. You take guys like Holmes and, as I said, Morgan. I think Robson looks really good. He'll probably develop into a top hooker in the next few years as well. He'll just keep getting better and better. But, yeah, I still think the Raiders should run all over him in this one. I don't even know who some of these blokes – Tuolagi, Lemalu, Arzy's only playing his 3rd game. If you're looking for a cheapie, you get on him at centre wing. But, yeah, not too much relevant there, I don't think.
Yeah. Final game on the Saturday night, mate. And who we got? Manly up against the Panthers. Probably the game of the round or close enough to it with regards to, form team going up against a team on the down at the moment. A lot of injuries there at Manly, but starting to get the full team on the park minus Turbo.
Yeah, for sure. And a couple, that win against Para, and then backed it up with the win against the Cows last week. Bit of confidence for them, so it could be a good game. I think the Panthers are due. Every week they're looking like a little bit shakier and shakier. They keep getting the job done. The Cows worried them. The Titans, they weren't convincing. So maybe the Eagles rolling this week. Maybe this could be the upset of the weekend.
Another trait of a good team, obviously, is winning ugly. It's easy enough to win when everything's going your way, but if you can still get the W when you're dropping the ball or penalties, the run of the ball's going against you, and I think that's what Penrith have done the last couple of weeks. So, so a lot of people with plenty of Penrith players in their teams. mate, I think Bogan mentioned a little bit earlier, asking about Cade Custon and who mentioned him. I think we saw there last week exactly what he can do for Manly, and I think he can turn into, a dead set keeper if he sort of gets that opportunity at Manly. I think alongside Dylan Brown, I think probably those two are the most exciting halves I've seen come out of footy in the last year or two, just with regards to potential, how they play on the field and how they can sort of tear other teams apart unexpectedly. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think he's a competitor. He's a genuine half as well. He's not. I don't think Dylan Walker's a genuine six, but this kid definitely is. Like, competes, creates. He looks really good. So, Supercoach wise, I think he was pretty good as a cheapie last year, and he had an inflated price as a result. So he's probably not. He's hard to pick up. He might have been a better draft sort of pick up, but yeah, I agree with you, mate. He's looks an awesome footy player. Appy's on that extended bench, so he'd be a big in for Penrith if they were to have him back. But still no Edwards, which is a big out for him. And no Charlie Staines.
About Edwards, you say that about Edwards, which look, I agree with. I think they are a better team with Edwards on the park. But Caleb Aikens, look, I had him at the start of the year as that sort of cheapie, hoping he'd blow up, and he never did. Since he's got that spot back in the last sort of week and a half, 2 weeks, he looks good. He actually looks like he's trying a lot harder, putting in a lot more runs and things like that. So I think he just might be one of these players that takes a little bit more time to develop. He's not going to sort of blow everyone away straight away, but he could be one to look at over the next year or two. See what happens, and maybe another club will sign him as a starting fullback if Edwards maintains that spot. But yeah, I'm excited to see what he does.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this one, looking forward to the battle of forward packs as well, mate. You got a couple of stacked packs there. If Appy finds his way back in, if Kikau plays as well, absolutely stacked forward packs for both of these sides. So it should be a good battle. Even the benches are pretty good for both of them.
What do we get after that? Sunday games, mate?
Yeah, Dogs Para, Western Sydney Derby.
Fuck. Para just run all over the top of them, don't they? Hopefully it's a dry track. Mitch Moses, 407,000.
Yeah, I think he's a big buy this week. 70 break even as well, so pretty gettable.
Yeah.
If you've got Luai and you don't want to upgrade to someone massive, you make, 60K going to Moses, which is pretty crazy when you think about it. And Para got a decent run over the next few weeks as well, including this game.
And even if Luai, I know obviously Luai is the jewel, but I've got him at 5'8", and I can't sort of get Moses in there. But I can do a straight swap from Billy Walters to Moses. So that's another one I've been contemplating.
Mm-hmm.
I was sort of looking at Munster. I need to create some cash to get Munster in if we go Luai. Mm-hmm. So unfortunately, it doesn't work for me to go both of them. But yeah, that's the ideal position for me. I think if I can go BMOS maybe to someone mid-range, maybe a Source or something like that. But I'm wary because I've got that many Penrith players already.
No, I'm with you. I got Avarillo at 7 and Luai at 6, so I can't get Moses in unless I chop out a centre wing and swap Avarillo out. So it's sort of awkward this week, and it's pretty frustrating. But if you don't have that issue, I think the wide Moses will be a popular one. I think plenty of those Penrith guys, I'm looking at, even the trades I've told Bogan might be completely different to what I end up doing. But looking at a guy like Carrigan, I know there's probably heaps of bigger issues, but get Marcus Sivo in this week even, mate. There's a bit of a straight swap there. Maybe Moses and Sivo is a good combo. Campbell Gillard could be big again. Another stacked forward pack for Para. I'm expecting, as long as it's the right track, that there'll be plenty of points on offer for those Para boys, though.
Yeah, definitely. Mate, from a doggy's point of view, look, really nothing to report there, other than obviously we speak about Raymond Fatala-Mariner and the option that he's there. Like I say, mate, I just didn't think in Classic he was probably the best option. Again, he scored a try 3 weeks in a row, which, is going to inflate anyone's score. Whether he can keep up that form is doubtful. And I think one thing Parramatta have proved all year is anyone who sort of comes up against them in Supercoach doesn't go too well. They're their defence is pretty well on most weeks, the Para Eels. So I think, probably, again, a stay away from any doggies for me this week.
I think the only one that speaks to me about this one is the Maddo concussion. This is the second last game on the Sunday. And we saw, I think it was last year or the year before, maybe the year before when he was at the Chooks, he got that concussion and ended up being out for, I don't know how many weeks. It was like a month or more.
Yeah, interesting to see that actually. I don't know how much truth there was to it. I read it on a couple of different sites. Was Maddo on his time at the Tigers was not as I think something mentioned about how he was looked after at the Roosters. You know, when he had injuries, he was given time to heal. You know, when things like the concussions or little niggly injuries, you know, they'd work with him. Whereas at the Tigers, it seemed that they wanted him to play injured and, you know, just get out there. You're our best player or, you know, in that position anyway and push through it. So it'll be interesting to see if there is any truth to that, whether he takes that stance, you know, whether he's a late withdrawal. I can imagine it being so, mate. I'd actually plan, until I saw that he was in today, I'd actually plan probably I don't want to say to trade him out because it's hard to trade a gun, but if he misses this week, he could miss 3 or 4 weeks.
Well, and I'm considering normally I'd have, you know, my starting 13 on the field, all the guys that are playing earliest, so that if you have one of your 4 reserves get ruled out late, you can switch the R. But I'm considering putting Maddo as an R just in case because I could swap and put Safidi in or something like that because, you just can't. Yeah. You cannot trust him whatsoever.
Yeah. And the final game, mate. Your boys?
Fucking got no comment on this one after last week. Dead set.
Mate, well, look, I think they're obviously going to get a fire put up by O'Brien. And if we look at that first game, was it first game back or from COVID or second game where he's played the Storm and the Storm ran away pretty early. I think it was about sort of 18-0 or 20-0. And your boys brought it back to a try or a 2-try deficit, but it definitely looked the better team in the second half. Made a little bit hard, obviously, the engine room. You got Jacob in there. You got no Daniel Saifidi, which sort of hurts. But there's plenty of form players there in your team. They just need to find a way to do it right, don't they?
Yeah, look, I think we've now lost, as I said, Jaden Brayley, Andrew McCulloch and Connor Watson for the season. So Randall will slip into hooker. His debut, I think he broke a record for tackles made. So he's a bottom price cheapie. I don't know, obviously most people will be running 2-gun hookers, but I'm not sure how O'Brien will use him. We've got Phoenix Crossland on the bench there who's like a Hoy type sort of player. Less of an outside back, more of a half. So I don't know how he's going to use him. I don't expect Randall will play the full 80 as he did against Melbourne, Penrith. We had a heap of injuries. So, it'll be interesting. Like I said, it's a pretty big loss for us to lose both Watson and McCulloch as well. So it's going to be, for the rest of the season, this is what it will be. And if one of these, if Randall gets injured, God forbid. But I think Barnett could be a big smoky mate. He played, as I said, big minutes. And he's only at 500k. He was a late switch to start at lock on the weekend, and was massive. I don't know if the injuries to McCulloch and Watson affected the minutes. I still expect he'd play pretty big minutes again. Maybe not 80, but definitely at least 60 to 70 minutes, which you could possibly pick him up for a bit of a smoky option, I reckon. But we're up against it. Melbourne all class. Absolutely dismantled Brisbane last week. And they've got a few guys out, but they still look like a full strength side.
It's a little bit hard with the Storm, mate. Obviously, as you say, they're all class and they're really getting the value out of their bench lately. Obviously, Tino, Brandon Smith. A lot of teams are so much easier when you get that bench on and they lose a little bit of impact. Melbourne lose nothing. They're so well drilled and well coached. The onslaught just never stops coming. So a bit tough for your boys. Good to see I got a spot on the bench there, mate, this week.
Oh, fucking how did you manage that?
I'm on the Wild Turkeys just in preparation, but I should be good to go by Sunday.
It's because B. Hampton got dropped.
You played well for Bournemouth this season as well, bud. Well done.
Mate, how bad was he? Oh, And they got relegated.
Yeah, it was pretty
Fucking
bad.
serves them right, the pricks. I started with him.
I reckon, moving on from your professional sporting ventures, mate, Smithy's definitely captain option this week. For anyone spooked on Teddy last week, or if there's rain around or whatever, he scored 115 last time he played us, and it could be a similar result this week. I expect us to be far better, but we could be in trouble.
I'm thinking Munster, mate. I'm thinking Munster probably over Smith this week. Munster's he's just been building. You know what I mean? Like obviously he had that injury there with the knee issue. He's going to have a massive week this week somewhere, or not this week, but maybe either this week or coming up. And I can feel a 130 or 140. So maybe it is here Sunday afternoon. Where are they playing? Sunshine Coast.
Yeah, as long as it's not wet. Is there any rain around again?
We've just had 4 days of rain up here, and in Queensland, once you have 4 days of rain, you have 3 weeks of sunshine. So by next weekend, I'm sure it'll be dry.
Righto. And that rounds us out.
There we go. That's the show. We've gone an hour and a half already. Well, I've gone an hour, but anyway.
All right, on to the trades, fellas.
No, we didn't. Bogan took 45 minutes to fucking get started again.
Yeah, look, I read the potatoes on the blink again.
Oh, well, yeah. I don't know if it was Potato's fault this time or fucking OBS.
Have we got any IT connections in the chats? Any boys
I know
get us some black market products or something?
There was an offer made. There was an offer made during the week to donate a computer. I'm still looking into that.
Oh, there we go.
But
there we go. I don't. One of those Apple fucking those colourful ones from the early 90s.
No, well, no, it's definitely maybe that old. It's definitely second hand, at least to get us through until the potatoes replaced. But this week I think it was a glitch with the actual program OBS, which is notorious for being a fucking cunt of a thing to use. So, anyways, on to the trades, and hopefully this works.
What are we doing? Hey! We're back. Future armor. Change places!
Change places!
I don't know I don't know what I'm doing. This would be a short-term one. I expected Ramin to be out, but I just don't like a Hemi. After he burned me last
Have they named him?
Yeah, he's named there.
He's no chance.
Yeah, look, Rapper's been named at 1. He's really cheap. It'd be short term with C&K expected to be back in a couple of weeks, but it would allow me enough cash to go the wire to Munster, which I think is the right thing. Like I said, I've toyed with, Sivo, Moses, and Latrell, Keary, or Flanagan, Cody Walker, this and that, but I'm feeling like these are the ones I'll probably end up on. There's plenty of options around, I reckon, plenty of cheap guys. Like I said, my team can't really get too much worse, so I can throw caution to the wind. Canberra play the Cows this week. I think Rapana will be busy at the back. If nothing else, he should be pretty busy, so maybe get lucky, Jags. And some attacking stats are saying this is where I'm at. Got no idea what I'll finish on at the end, but fuck, whatever. It's a write-off. You?
Mate, well, look, B-Moz is out, so we'll be trading him out. I think his break-even at the moment is about 160 or 170 anyway, so he dropped 50K last week after scoring 27 points, which, at the end of the day, 50K is not too bad to drop when you were 700 and something. So, mate, I'll be dumping B-Moz. I'm not too sure who to bring in. Like I say, I've got thoughts around bringing in Munster. To do that, I'm going to drop Luai. Luai 460 odd K, so I've got to create some cash there. So, whether I go B-Moz to Mansour, like I say, I just can't do it, and I can't bring in Lomax or Mann. Mann's on the list. It's a weird one, man. He's defied the list. He's been on the list for a couple of years, and he's defied the list this year. So I'm not too happy. The list is usually pretty clear cut, but he's found a way to circumvent the list. Anyway, But mate, Lomax, yeah, look, we just missed the boat. It's hard to put someone on when you started the season at 250k or whatever it was, 300k. You miss that sort of cheapie, and Pride just can't take it to bring him in.
Oh, and you can't pay 600 plus K for him and he pumps out a 40 or a 50. It just made you spew.
But it's like you say, mate. He's kicking goals. He actually looks good. They aren't token points. They aren't just junk points. He actually is making breaks. They're attacking that way. They look good that way. His combination with Dufty and Ravalawa looks good. He's good under the high ball. He really ticks all the boxes out there, and that's what pisses me off, is that I saw it. I think everyone sort of saw it and everyone thought it, but because he didn't produce it straight away, we sort of moved away from him and forgot about him. And just those people who obviously benefit from him didn't. So, I don't know. Fucking bastards.
Oh, I talked myself into fucking Braden Burns and all these fucking idiots that did nothing. So, anyway.
Yeah, well, if I think I go back to the start of the season, I ranked 10 top second centre wingers. I don't think too many of them in there. I named Ramian, and he's had a shocker. I went Braden Burns, and he's had a shocker. Asako's been fucking atrocious. So basically, we can learn from that the 50 people who are watching this stop watching. Well, don't stop watching because you make Bogan upset. But yeah.
Oh,
anyway.
Fucking go Ramian, who's a fairly decent pod, and he spits out that shit last week. Fucking has a try disallowed and then goes off after 25 minutes.
I can't believe how him and SJ haven't formed that combination still. Like two professional footballers, as good as they are and the talent that they've shown, their combination is just as bad as it was 10, 12 weeks ago, even before COVID. So,
look, I agree with Benny as well. I generally always go cheapies. That's where you get your cheapies because they get those random blow-up scores and that's where they make their cash. And it's happened time and time again. But this year it was harder to find those guys. And it was guys like Lomax and Mann. It was a bit like, I don't know. So I went those guys that were 400k that were still sort of cheapish and fucking absolutely killed me this year. So anyway, crime.
What do we get after that? The leagues, Bogues?
Onto the leagues. So top of the group this week with 1406 is Matthew with Major Pain.
Good movie.
Cracker. 1400. Good score.
Right. Keep going because I'm doing stuff here.
Yep, I'm just setting up the next screen. So this is how the group looks at the moment with the cunning stunts up the top. In the 158th overall. Devious Devastation still hanging around the top. And unfortunately it looks like the Tigress has slipped out of the top 10, so there goes a hope for.
She's had a couple of ordinary weeks, old Lisa. So
moving on to the BJ and Game Day League.
Fucking lost to Big Ted. Fuck's sakes.
Macca with the systemic cheaters. 1342.
Monster.
So
yeah, Macca went solid.
He's on the charge this week.
Didn't have Teddy. I don't know if he still doesn't have Teddy.
That probably served him well this week.
Well, that's what he come to us. Yes, last week was help. Help with
that was Ben, wasn't it?
No, he's got him and he captained him.
Yeah. He's got him and he captained him. Yeah, poor bastard Macca. You'd avoided him for so long.
Had Lomax, had Smith, had Murray, had Clem.
See Lomax again.
And Pappy. He had little Pappy.
How did you go this week, Hampton? What'd you score?
Oh, 11.40 something was no good. I had Maddo and Remy and fuck me. And
So
Teddy's captain.
Yeah. I think I scored 11.
I think you were worse than
11:30.
me.
11:30. So it was shit, but fuck, I dropped 2,500 spots.
Yeah.
I went down 5,000 down to about 7,500,
Fucking
which
low, Max.
I
And
thought I'd
fucking
go
high.
backwards, but I didn't think I'd drop, 2,500 spots.
Yeah. Anyway, moving along, Bogan.
Moving on to the All-In League, and it was Michael with Paycheck.
He's
It's
doing
top
well
score.
in top 700 as well, mate. Fuck,
Yeah.
flying. Big score there.
With 1373.
Haha, Benny. Moving along.
So the BJ version 2.
1,300 for Big Papa Haas. Overall ranking is a bit blown out, so he's had a good week there.
22,000. There we go.
Yep, so that's for the Classic Leagues for the BJ and Gate Day. On to the draft. We had Breno got up over Mana. I got up, very lucky to get up over Marty's team. He ran out of players by Sunday. Kane Anderson absolutely fucking smashed Big Head.
Big score, Kando. Big score.
Hell's Granny's got up over Josh, who you couldn't have scored fucking 587 last week, could you? Fucking bastard.
What a score.
Fucked.
587.
I don't fucking look at draft. Half the time I got a
me.
team, half the team I fucking don't.
You got Bayman back this week.
I don't have him. Do I have him still?
No, Kando's got him.
I fucking trade him out. I got no idea.
Oh, fuck.
If you-
Yeah, I sat on him for fucking 6 or 7 weeks and I traded him out, and then fucking 2 weeks later he's starting.
If you want to gun in draft and you're in my draft league, just wait for me to fucking drop the cunts, because I will. I tell you.
Just get an
And,
injury and you just don't look at how long they're out for.
I've still got Turbo, and he's out for the next 3 years. For fuck's sake.
And Big Jim's got over Bundy.
Jeez, some results there.
Next week's games in the draft.
Oh,
So it's me up against Brent, and Kane Anderson up against Mana.
Oh, fuck me.
So 1 and 4.
of course I fucking
1 and
play
4.
you
one
the
and
week
4.
that fucking Tedesco is playing the Titans. You can go and get fucked. Fuck off with that shit.
Oh well, it's 1 and 4 and 2 and 3 in those games.
There you go. There you go.
So Hell's Grannies is up against Marty. Bundy's up against Big Ted, and Big Jim's is up against Josh.
Look
Wait,
out.
Jones. I got him. No, I don't. Who's in my team? Fuck if I know.
And that takes us to the ladder, and there's actually there's a defined top 4 at the moment, with Mana and Brent sitting on 12, clear 2 points of everyone else. I'm still on top, but at one fucking sleep, and Kane Anderson's going to take over.
That'll possibly be this weekend, Bogan. If Tedesco doesn't score fucking 400.
He'll break his leg in warm up or some shit.
I don't say that.
No, don't say that. That'll ruin a lot of people's fucking day.
Jeez, eh? It's all happening. Everyone's fucking. It's very tight. It was only 5. I think it's 5 rounds to go till finals. Can't afford those
I
people
like it
in the
tight.
middle there.
Well.
Oh, yep. Shout out Kando. He's leading the BJ Invitational. He's had 0 losses in the head-to-head as well. I think he's
Has he?
Yeah.
Bullshit.
Yeah, he's 9-0.
Fuck.
Daylight second. But it's on. I think that's it. With Bogan's 10 minutes to get logged in. And
I'm out.
fingering his dick and everything that he does. But I think that'll do us. Bogan, thank you.
Yeah, no
As
worries.
always.
Hopefully I have those technical problems at least with the fucking cameras fixed next week. Fucking OBS. But
Everyone
yeah,
that tuned in, thank you very
yeah,
much. As
any-
always, we'll see you all again next week. Good luck. May the Supercoach gods be kind.
Hey guys, Joshy here. Thanks very much for joining us for another episode of BJ on Game Day. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, hit the bell on YouTube for all your notifications. If you do want to follow us on Facebook, you can find us there at BJ on Game Day, and on Twitter we're at BJ on Game Day as well. So guys, we'd really like your support with that. Follow us so we can know you guys are enjoying the content. Thanks very much.